Those of us who live within the Simcoe watershed are incredibly fortunate. Lake Simcoe is the largest lake outside the Great Lakes system in southern Ontario. Its watershed is home to more than 450,000 people, a number that is expected to grow significantly in coming years. Lake Simcoe is also the most intensively fished inland lake in Ontario. Over the years, the watershed has experienced a wide range of interrelated pressures, from extensive nutrients, pollutants, and invasive species, to the effects of climate change and increasing pressures from human activities. That's why, in the face of these challenges, the Lake Simcoe Protection Plan was established just over 10 years ago. Since then, we have seen encouraging signs in the health of Lake Simcoe. And this morning, we're pleased to announce the 10-year report on Lake Simcoe has been released on ontario.ca. This progress highlighted in the report includes reducing phosphorus loading from sewage treatment plants by 50% since 2009, improving dissolved oxygen levels in the lake's deep waters, which will help support a self-sustaining cold water fish community, continuing signs of naturally reproducing cold water species such as lake trout, lake whitefish, and Simcoe, restoring more than 15 kilometers of degraded shorelines, planting more than 55,000 trees and shrubs, creating or restoring 120 hectares of wetlands, and repairing or replacing more than 160 failed septic systems. These accomplishments represent good progress towards achieving our objectives, and they are thanks in no small part to actions carried out by the Lake Simcoe Regional Conservation Authority and so many other partners engaged in the implementation of the Lake Simcoe Protection Plan. Still, much work remains. Achieving the objectives of the Lake Simcoe Protection Plan requires a long-term commitment from all partners. Our government will continue to build on our successes as we continue to take action to protect and restore the lake, as committed to in the Made in Ontario Environment Plan. To tell you more about our government's support and next steps to ensure we can keep building on the success, I'd like to invite Andrea Kanjan up to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Minister Dunlop, and good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here in front of beautiful Lake Simcoe. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. As a resident of Innisfil and the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, I want to bring greetings on behalf of the Minister. It's great to be joined by so many municipal, federal counterparts, and of course the Lake Simcoe Regional Conservation Authority and our Youth for Lake Simcoe group. Lake Simcoe is a part of our community's rich history. For many of you, you know that Lake Simcoe played a vital role in safeguarding Canada during the War of 1812. Explorer John Franklin passed through Lake Simcoe during one of his Arctic explorations, and Lake Simcoe played an important role for the lives of the Ojibwa and the Huron natives who inhabited most of central Ontario. In Huron language, the name of Lake Simcoe meant beautiful water, and here we are, in fact, in front of the beautiful water. Recreation from the lake generates over $20 million a year in the local economy, which is, of course, 80% of that is connected to our ice fishing, which is why when Minister Dunlop talked about the importance of oxidization and our cold water fishery returning to Lake Simcoe, it is very important for those who enjoy fishing on these waters. But growing up in Lake Simcoe, I saw the importance, of course, of connecting with nature and the importance of keeping Lake Simcoe clean at a very young age. I learned that environmentalism starts at home. When I was elected, I wanted to do something to build on the success to date to keep Lake Simcoe clean, as we saw through the federal government's Clean Up Lake Simcoe Action Plan. We all have a role when it comes to our environment, and we all have a role to play when it comes to restoring and protecting the lake. And it's great to see the dedication we have here today, and it makes me certain that we can continue to meet the challenges ahead and improve on the work to date when we work together. Together, anything is possible, and together we can make great progress as it comes up to the 10-year review for the Lake Simcoe Protection Plan. And I'm excited to announce that the review will begin this fall on the Lake Simcoe Protection Plan 10-year review. Together we can also ensure that all parties, stakeholders, cottagers, residents, Indigenous communities, our Youth for Lake Simcoe, and our federal and municipal counterparts are all involved in this review. Together we owe it to the next generation to preserve our lake for we made many memories along these shores. So let's pass along those memories to our next generation. Together, I look forward to taking part in this review and hearing what all of you have to say on how we can continue the important work to date to build on the success over the next 10 years for our beautiful lake. When I was appointed to be the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, I felt very hopeful that I could contribute to meaningful change and felt a special responsibility to do my part to ensure Lake Simcoe remains clean and healthy for future generations. That's why, in addition to releasing the report today, I'm especially excited to announce that our government is providing $581,000 for funding for 4 new projects. These projects will complement other projects underway, like the work being done by Ducks Unlimited to turn green infrastructure into ways we can help build resiliency against climate change. And the 4 projects that we are announcing today will also help restore and protect the lake and its watershed. It will help reduce the amount of phosphorus, it will help reduce the amount of pollutants and nutrients entering Lake Simcoe. These projects will be contributing to the St. Lawrence River Institute, which will lead one of the projects to develop a model using satellite imagery to predict areas where phosphorus will concentrate, so they can see the targeted areas where the improvement is needed. The Lake Simcoe Conservation Authority will lead 3 initiatives. They will focus on the inspection and maintenance of stormwater facilities to improve their ability to prevent phosphorus and other pollutants from entering the lake. And the second project, led by the Lake Simcoe Conservation Authority, will help monitor water quality and phosphorus levels in Lake Simcoe, which will help researchers understand the relationship between phosphorus loads and dissolved oxygen. The final initiative will track changes in paved roads, parking lots, and other impervious features in the watershed to inform and improve stormwater management planning in the watershed. And I know our Youth for Lake Simcoe, who's here today, and our next generation, our leaders, are very excited about the additional funds made for these projects to help keep Ontario and help keep Ontario's Lake Simcoe clean. They are a really great example of how our community is really dedicated to the efforts to clean up Lake Simcoe and its watersheds. And I want to give them a big shout out for the great work they've been doing to clean up our communities and keep Lake Simcoe and its watersheds clean. So thank you, Zoe and the Youth for Lake Simcoe. I really look forward to working with Zoe and all her Lake Simcoe youth ambassadors. But they're really an example of how protecting Lake Simcoe is a responsibility we all share. And our new 10-year report on Lake Simcoe shows that we can accomplish, and what we can accomplish when we work together. We can have a beautiful lake and a thriving community. We can make good on the progress of the projects that we're funding today to help build and restore and keep Lake Simcoe beautiful for generations to come. It is now my pleasure to keep building on these successes with all of you, and I know all of you have a true heart and you do truly love Lake Simcoe.